I used to wait for motivation like it was a bus that might never come. Now I start moving before I feel ready, and the difference is night and day. The timer on my phone ticked down from 2 minutes, its soft digital pulse echoing in my tiny kitchen. I stood by the counter, hands wrapped around a mug, feeling the weight of another day spent circling my own intentions. The world outside was muffled by the rain and my own inertia. I hovered, waiting for a spark that never seemed to arrive. I used to think I was lazy or broken for not springing into action. The truth was simpler. I was waiting for motivation, and motivation is a fickle guest. I'd wake up buzzing with ideas, only to watch the energy evaporate as soon as I sat at my desk. Days blurred together and I felt stuck, like a car with the parking brake half engaged. I remember one morning when the rain drummed heavier than usual and my to-do list blinked at me with empty promises. The cost wasn't just lost productivity, it was a slow erosion of self-trust. I felt like I was waiting for permission, from myself, from the universe, to begin. If you've ever felt that way, you know how quietly painful it is. The truth, I learned, is that most people are quietly wrestling with the same stall. The world is full of unfinished drafts, unsent messages, and unopened running shoes. The cost of waiting for motivation is cumulative. It piles up in the form of missed opportunities and eroding confidence. But what if the answer isn't to wait for motivation at all? What if you could start moving before you feel ready? It started with a 2-minute timer. 2 minutes of writing, tidying, or stretching on the living room floor. I didn't have to finish anything. I just had to start. The first morning, I set a timer and opened a blank document. If I wanted to stop after that, fine. The 2-minute rule made starting less scary. I began to notice something curious. The more I honored the 2-minute rule, the less I dreaded starting. I started calling this my streak saver. This simple rule kept me from spiraling into guilt or perfectionism. Momentum is a quiet thing. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. I began to stack these little starts together. I learned to tolerate boredom as a sign of pushing through resistance. I started publishing small, sharing pieces of my work. Each tiny act of sharing made the next one easier. Over time, these micro wins added up. I began to feel the weight of my productivity lighten. My weeks started to move. I was building momentum. The rain still falls, the city lights still blur, but I'm no longer stuck behind the glass. My narrative shifted dramatically. Starting small became second nature. The timer clicked down, the cursor blinked, and I started. Not because I felt inspired, but because this is what I do now. That's how progress happens, one tiny step at a time. You don't have to wait for motivation. You just need to start. The smallest start is waiting, and I feel a flicker of wonder at how such a tiny action can ripple outward. Trust the process. Let momentum do its quiet work. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You just have to start. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. The progress is slow but real. If you're reading this and wondering if it could work for you, I hope you'll give it a try. Just set a timer for 2 minutes and start moving. The timer clicks down, the window is streaked with rain, and I begin. From waiting to doing, from stuck to steady, that's how I move now.